All right, guys, we're dipping into the MonsterVerse and the How to Train Your Dragon verse a little bit here. Now, I'm sure you guys know the How to Train Your Dragon live-action movie was actually just released this weekend. And in that movie, we see a bunch of dragons that are, a little dangerous, right? You see Red Death, who is absolutely huge. But is he big enough to be able to fight somebody like, I don't know, King Ghidorah? The video we're reacting to is titled, Can Ghidorah Survive How to Train Your Dragon? I think it should be the opposite way around. King Ghidorah would most likely sweep. No? Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know your all's comments in the comments. Do you think Ghidorah destroys How to Train Your Dragon, or do you think, the other way around? Let me know in the comments. Shout out to Goji Guy, and let's get to it.
King Ghidorah, the one who has many.
Make sure to subscribe to my boy.
The MonsterVerse Ghidorah is widely considered
and
the
to me,
strongest
hit that
kaiju
subscribe
in the
button.
verse,
Let's go.
besides Godzilla, of course. While I personally disagree, there is no denying he's a force to be reckoned with. From being able to create a huge hurricane from just existing to being able to lift the king of the monsters into the sky like a rag doll. He is truly the Golden King and the bringer of darkness. Well, while Ghidorah may block the land of light, he should be more worried when he's locked in himself. What if Ghidorah wasn't facing off against the slower titans of the MonsterVerse? What if Ghidorah had to climb the ranks and prove his title of dragon, but like Monarch employees and citizens
electricity
in today's video, as preparation for the How to Train Your Dragon film just around the corner, I thought, why not take one of the most iconic dragons in fiction and see how he holds up against the dragon realm itself? Hello everyone, I'm your host Goji Guy,
one move where the electricity just bounces off of him, you know what I'm saying? I keep forgetting the name. But I feel like he hits that move and they're all toast.
And to those who are watching this live while the video premieres, let me know how your day is going in the chat.
Anyways, let me know if you've seen the movie, by the way.
Godzilla's evil dragon, King Ghidorah.
I haven't seen it just yet.
Can clear the dragons from How to Train Your Dragon. Now, for this video to be entertaining,
is it bad?
We do need to take a few liberties to ensure it's fair. As if you want the answer outright, yes, MonsterVerse Ghidorah wipes the floor with these dragons.
All right,
the difference in weight, strength,
That's what I'm
and
saying.
power alone is enough to wipe the floor with everyone that stands in his way.
At least we agree. At least we agree.
If you're going to complain that I said Ghidorah is going to be able to get damage going forward, move on. Click off the video. As I have already given you your answer at face value. But to everyone that actually wants a cool video, trust me, you're in for a treat.
Let's see. Maybe shrink them down in size a little bit.
Weight. While the Bewilderbeast in their verse weigh in at an insane 200,000 pounds or 100
tons.
That
is bonkers.
At least according to the wiki.
200K
weighs just a bit more. Weighing in at an eye-watering 141,056 tons.
Tons! I was going to say that was kind of less.
Than the Wilderbeasts. So, no doubt, we need to reduce his weight. Ghidorah, given his size, would likely weigh around 300,000 pounds. So heavy enough to stand his ground, but light enough where the other dragons don't just die from a single tail swipe.
I think it would be close if they put in the very first
all the dragons
Ghidorah.
are at their peak, and none of them are holding back.
Wasn't it in a suit or something?
And well, that's really about it. It's really just the weight that was a huge issue. So who will be in Ghidorah's bracket? Well, for this, we need to pick the best of the best dragons. The strongest, the fastest, the deadliest.
Shout out Toothless, but it ain't him.
The Screaming Death, the Red Death, the Forever Wing, the Purple Death, the Bewilderbeast, and finally, Toothless.
My boy is in here. Let's go.
So, without further ado, let's cover Ghidorah's
Shout out to Toothless.
Ghidorah, my glorious Golden King. Where are even...
My glorious king.
Hi. Hey, guys.
I like the fit. Goji Guy, you looking nice.
King Ghidorah is one of the strongest beasts the MonsterVerse has ever
The fit's How to Train Your Dragon.
Behind the likes of Godzilla and Shimo. But, what has he done to earn this level of power? Well, let's start with his strength. Just from clashing into Godzilla, he's able to create a shockwave. So no dragons want to clash with him head on, unless they have the weight to back it up. He's able to easily break his wings free from ice, and manhandles Rodan when weakened.
A lot of it's going to come from the electricity.
He's once again able to make a shockwave and stalemate Godzilla after Godzilla was amped heavily. But his most impressive thing is that he was able to lift Godzilla high into the sky.
So my boy's strong.
New weight, and Godzilla's weight in comparison.
You know
this
he's
means
dumb
Ghidorah
strong.
pretty much be able to lift any of the dragons that he'll face off against.
Easily.
The only exception maybe being the Forever Wing.
Yeah, that one's a little big, but
he's immune to gunfire.
I still think he could.
Annoyed, also found with missiles being shot at him. He's able to withstand an amped Godzilla's beam to the chest like it's nothing. He withstands the Oxygen Destroyer. Granted, he is an alien, so he doesn't really need oxygen. So it's a good feat, yeah, but it's not crazy given Ghidorah's context. He's able to go blow for blow with Godzilla later in the film and withstand Rodan slamming into him full force. For speed,
technically he slammed into Rodan,
knots,
but
or roughly 630 miles an hour. For abilities, he has his gravity beams, his wing lightning, his storm, and energy absorption.
The wing lightning.
Though the wing lightning and energy absorption would be iffy if usable at all. Given 1, there are no power plants to chomp on, and 2, the dragons don't run on radiation, so there's really nothing to absorb. So overall, he will be one alpha of a dragon. So, first up on the list, the Screaming Death.
So there is no electricity.
Death, first appearing in Dragons Defenders of Berk, is considered to be one of the deadliest dragons in the How to Train Your Dragon universe. From not having any real weaknesses,
bro, I'm so ready to see these dragons in the actual movie. It's gonna look so good.
These guys are feared by even the Night Fury itself. But to truly be able to understand how a battle between these two would go, let's first cover his stats. Firstly, this dude was able to sink multiple islands. In one of the last episodes, he's even able to destroy a large portion of the Dragon Island.
I've seen the movie, man. I need to watch it again.
Now, assuming these islands are accurate, we have a map that roughly looks like this. Shout out to Korra. That is the only time you'll ever hear that sentence ever come out of my mouth. And for the more funky, spunky power scaling terms, he would be outputting large island levels of power. But as you know, we're not a power scaling channel. So for how we do it, this shows that over an unquantifiable amount of time, that the Screaming Death is seemingly able to hollow out entire islands, leaving them to destabilize and sink into the ocean floor.
He's tough, bro.
No sense. They're on the floor, are they not? Anyways, well, as I said, we don't know how quickly he does this. It should be relatively fast. Meaning, if you were to rush at Ghidorah's wings, for example, he could likely rip right through them, making it hard for the one who is ready to take flight. Along with that, these guys, as I said, are stated to have no weaknesses. So Ghidorah's beam would ragdoll him, yes, but they wouldn't injure him any further than the blunt and heat damage it would inflict. And on that note, durability.
Have you
According
dropped this thing off?
The Screaming Death has the thickest and most durable scales in the verse, being able to take shots from Toothless, Meat Lug, Barf and Belch, and Stormfly. He can take all sorts of hits, from plasma to poison. He just shrugs it off. He's able to fly through and destroy giant rock formations like it's nothing. He's able to keep up with the speed of Toothless, giving him incredible speed.
It's been a minute since I've seen the
movie,
movie,
itself gives him incredible agility. So, how would this fight play out? In this fight, the Screaming Death would likely be the aggressor. Ghidorah's sword would wake him from beneath whatever island he's trying to hollow out. The Screaming Death, for just a few moments, would stay quiet and study this massive foe.
I love the storytelling from Goji Guy. I love it.
Ghidorah is by far stronger and has a much wider range of abilities. I can just picture it. Along with that, he is far more durable. But the Screaming Death also takes quite a few categories. He is faster, more agile, and has the Ion Dragon mentality, where he will fight with all he's got until he's dead. Ghidorah would struggle to hit the Screaming Death due to his speed, agility, and small size.
He is quick.
But all Screaming Death can really do is just tear through his wings bit by bit. Now, while Ghidorah's regen isn't as fast as it is when it's being juiced up, such as when he took in the radiation of the volcano, or took in the electricity from the power plant, it is still quick enough in base to heal from any small holes the Screaming Death inflicts.
It's still regen.
And after enough time, Ghidorah could just shoot one beam at the Screaming Death. Now, while one beam likely wouldn't put him out, once the second one does make contact, yeah, Ghidorah moves on with low difficulty. Next up is the Red Death, the main antagonist of the first film.
The Red Death. So this is the one I thought would give it somewhat of a challenge.
But does he have what it takes to hold his own against a devil with three heads?
Not really, though.
When it comes to strength, the Red Death shows that he can easily break through a mountain just from standing up.
Also, that part of the trailer of the new movie.
And completely rams through giant rock pillars without slowing down. For durability, he again breaks through the mountain and goes through those pillars as we said. He's unbothered by catapult fire.
Yeah, I need to watch the movie again before I go.
He takes many blasts in the mouth from Toothless, and again shows no damage. As we said, he's able to withstand bashing through rock when flying, and is relatively unharmed from Toothless plasma blasts to the wings. While they did cause holes, they really only widened due to him falling later. For his speed, thanks to his sheer size, he is able to keep up with his speedy Toothless. And for his abilities, his fire breath is able to destroy fleets of ships with ease. He's also able to suck in a whole bunch of air at once, even most dragons can't escape. Getting onto his statements, there's a statement that says, due to his sheer size, when flying, the Red Death can break through anything in his way, even entire mountains. Along with that, they also have a really good sense of smell and hearing. It is also said a few times, the Red Death is able to send out homing signals to call other dragons to his nest. He also has no blind spots, which would help greatly in this battle. So, with that at play, let's cover this fight. Ghidorah, after leaving the sinking island from the Screaming Death, lifts off and once more gets into the sky. Though after some time passes, something odd starts happening. Ichi and San begin to thrash around, their heads splitting in pain, while Nee picks up on a call, though he is more resistant to it. They're hearing this world's version of the Alpha Call. It's similar, but not like the one they know. They make a sharp turn and head over to this new island. They land
the storytelling, I'm locked in.
But they were sniffed out first. Suddenly, out of the mountain, the Red Death plows out, ramming into Ghidorah, breaking a few ribs. In this fight, Ghidorah still takes strength at least when it comes to lifting, but the Red Death, due to a smaller, more compact size, can hit harder. The Red Death also takes speed, while Ghidorah holds on to durability, IQ, and abilities.
Yeah, he's gonna take speed.
This fight would go on for some time. The Red Death constantly keep an eye on Ghidorah and blast him with fire, though said fire really wouldn't do much, if anything at all. The Red Death's only option of trying to kill him would be with blunt force, which really isn't possible. So, after some time, Ghidorah would just overpower the Red Death with his necks, or charge up his beams, and hit the Red Death right between the eyes, killing him. Overall, Ghidorah moves on with low to mid difficulty.
Like I said, I don't see anybody beating him.
Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Ghidorah wins. While I love the Forever Wing, we really don't know much about it other than his abilities, which aren't anything crazy. All we have is an estimated size, and we sort of know it should be an alpha. Big, other than that, though, we don't even know if he can fly.
Oh my! They fly now!
Great heavens!
They fly now!
Meaning Ghidorah could just stay in the air and shoot at it the entire time. So Ghidorah moves on with pretty much no difficulty. Next up is the Purple Death. This is a huge jump from the Forever Wing. So let's go over what he's got. First, for strength, just from waking up, he caused sea quakes. Not only that, but they were strong enough to seemingly shake Berg. But
so is this one just in the like books,
Did he
comics, whatever?
Or is it just a byproduct of him waking up?
Because I haven't read those.
And the magnitude itself is widely debated. I've heard anywhere from magnitude 7 to magnitude 10. So
Dang!
It's iffy. But here is where he really shines. A glorious category. A factor that make or breaks fights. Context. Now, for those watching who haven't read the comic, how do you think they beat the Purple Death? Blow him up?
I ain't got a clue.
Burn him to a crisp?
Ran away?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say lightning.
All right, you got it? Well, wrong. They didn't.
Okay.
They more or less had to
See, I said ran away first.
And had to hypnotize him and send him off back to sleep for a few hundred years. Now, here's where context matters. Firstly, this is post-Red Death, so the Purple Death was so much stronger than the Red Death that their only way of beating it was putting it to sleep. Secondly, they had the home field advantage, as the Purple Death attacked Berk as a whole. All the dragons, all the weapons, all the Vikings.
Seeing him compared to the island, that thing is huge.
They couldn't do anything to him. So the only way they were able to win was using magic, if you will. So we can say the Purple Death is far stronger than Red. So with that being said, how would he hold up?
He would hold up better, but I still don't think he would hold up.
Over the ocean. The Red Death body still visible from afar. But as he flies, suddenly a huge wave crashes into him, knocking him into the water. The Purple Death attacks.
And this battle is in water, though. I forgot about that.
Firstly, where it takes place. As you see, the Purple Death fights in the water. And as we also see in King of the Monsters, Ghidorah sucks when fighting in the water.
Ghidorah struggled against Godzilla in the water for sure.
Assuming the Purple Death can output earthquake-level blows, he would be able to heavily damage Ghidorah, breaking bones, causing internal bleeding, and maybe even tear off a limb. And this time, there's no Oxygen Destroyer to help. Luckily,
I think this would be the closest
given his
fight.
Strength feats from his world,
if it was taken to the water,
overpower the Purple Death, using his heads to lift him out of the water and taking them into the sky. Now, this could go one of two ways. One, and the most unlikely, the Purple Death is able to knock out Ghidorah and eventually kill him underwater. Or two, the more likely outcome, he will land some devastating blows, yes, but Ghidorah will kick into overdrive.
Knocking out something that has 3 heads is crazy. I don't think that could happen.
Purple Death full force, damaging him severely. And then lastly, fly over the nearest landmass and Goji drop him from the sky.
Yeah.
Overall, Ghidorah would struggle greatly in this battle, as he would be hit harder than ever before and would be forced into the terrain he struggles most in. So
yeah,
overall,
I agree with
high
that.
difficulty, Ghidorah moves on.
Ghidorah still wins.
Now onto the 2 alphas themselves, the Bewilderbeasts. And yes, I said beasts. Ghidorah will be going against both these cataclysmic dragons at once. So let's see these 2 stats.
Oh, both at once?
Valkus Bewilderbeast.
Oh, okay, I didn't know he was jumping.
I'm not sure. Hiccup's mom. This Bewilder off screen, using its ice breath, is able to completely destroy a small village. Along with that, I don't know the gender of Valkus Bewilderbeast. We'll just say it's a she. No. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong.
She's
able to destroy a large amount of the battlefield with ice. She's able to swim really well, and she's able to rip through her ice with ease, similar to what the Red Death did with the mountain. For Drago's, his is able to displace ships just from standing up. He crushes weapons with no issue. He's able to outspeed and overpower Valkus Bewilderbeast, and ends up killing her. He's able to destroy large stone structures just from stepping on them, and he's able to head slam Valkus Bewilderbeast. Both Bewilders coming in at 200,000 pounds, and with his ice, he is able to destroy a large portion of Berk, making ice towers the size of mountains in seconds.
Still not heavier than Ghidorah.
They both have some matching feats. They're able to clash into each other with their tusks. Again, they weigh 200,000 pounds.
Now the tusks are going to come in handy. Now that we've scaled,
how does this fight play out?
Ghidorah down a little bit.
All right, I really don't know how to have this battle start. Let's just get to the breakdown. This fight is very interesting. The Bewilderbeasts together would be able to shove Ghidorah around quite a bit. Along with their ice, they could consistently freeze his necks together or freeze his feet to the ground. But while they could slow him down, given Ghidorah is able to break out of Antarctic ice with ease, he would likely be able to break out of this ice too.
True,
he would have to be
that.
quick, as the Bewilderbeasts make ice fast. So as long as Ghidorah is able to stay on his toes, he should be fine with the ice.
He was asleep.
This really comes down to Ghidorah avoiding the tusks being stabbed into him. But luckily for him, he can fly. They can't. Ghidorah could just stay in the air and fly far away,
and just keep
land
hitting them with beams, right?
Well, it would take many shots to take them down. Over time, I do see Ghidorah pulling through with mid to high difficulty. Oh boy. Now, the Night Fury, Toothless.
The final one.
I don't really think I need to cover much of Toothless.
Toothless, bro.
We'll keep it quick.
Come on.
Toothless is able to carry
it's gonna be like an ant to Ghidorah.
He overpowers and throws Hookfang, who weighs in at roughly 5,000 pounds. And, no, that's it. Speed. This one is easy to answer. Toothless is the fastest in his verse.
He is quick.
Able to fly at supersonic speeds, or roughly 768 miles an hour.
That's really fast.
He's able to slam through rock towers with no damage. He takes hits from Hookfang, again with no damage. He falls from the sky, slamming through ice and into the water unharmed, and is able to get entirely frozen with no damage. IQ. Toothless is able to understand humans to a certain extent, and then even ends up mimicking Hiccup's movements and facial expressions. He's able to understand Hiccup's drawing, and then on the spot draws Hiccup as well. Over time, he learns to trust Hiccup, He also shows that he hates eels, showing he's able to remember minor things he dislikes. He's able to overpower the alpha call and free himself. He's able to sense the light fury right near himself. Onto other stuff, Toothless can fly for hours on end. He can manage in a 3v1 while in pursuit. He has no issue with challenging alphas.
He's gonna have to do a 3v1, but the hardest of all
maneuver
time.
through the Bewilderbeast's tail with ease.
It's just not close.
Ice beams,
it's not close.
And in a single swift movement, in less than a second, Toothless is able to get up, spin around, and pin Hiccup to the ground. And finally, abilities. Toothless, of course, has his plasma balls, which destroy stuff ranging from wooden towers all the way up to the Bewilderbeast's tusks. This incredible power, paired with the fact that, at least according to the Burke Dragon logs, he never misses. He has a great sense of smell. He will smell Hiccup's knife in his coat pocket from many feet away. Picking up on Hiccup's cry for help from at least a mile away. He's able to override the Bewilderbeast alpha call and learns the ability of gathering electricity around him, allowing him to go invisible.
So we got electricity versus electricity.
How does this fight play out?
That's an electric battle.
This is a very interesting battle. As Ghidorah nears Burke, the sky is darkened, and clouds blow out huge bolts of lightning. Toothless snarls, sensing something isn't right. He takes to the sky, and as the lightning flashes, his eyes
close
widen.
your eyes and listen to
met
this.
with the sight of an ungodly-sized dragon. Luckily, thanks to the storm around him and his supply of electricity, Toothless can go invisible practically indefinitely throughout this fight. Ghidorah flies towards Burke, ready to let out an alpha call.
Is the Light Fury in the new movie, by the way?
With a plasma ball.
I know the Night Fury is.
Versus Ghidorah has begun. Now, this fight is hard to say. Ghidorah steals strength and durability, but Toothless is fast, far more agile, and at least in this battle, has more effective abilities. Now, the reason this fight is hard to determine the winner of is that 1, Toothless is far too fast for Ghidorah, but 2, Ghidorah is far too strong and durable for Toothless's attacks to do much. So overall, I don't think there's a winner. Realistically, Toothless would just fly laps around Ghidorah, constantly invisible.
Yes.
While Ghidorah can shrug off most of his attacks, what I think would happen,
I just don't think
Ghidorah's
Toothless would try to even fight
Toothless's stamina, is that Ghidorah would just leave. He's not giving up per se, no. He just couldn't really care less for this one specific island.
Yeah, I mean,
so
Ghidorah's not taking damage,
I do believe
nothing's
Toothless
happening.
could deter him. So, for this round, there is no winner.
Yeah,
but
I guess.
despite I know future
I'll
people
agree with
editing
it.
this, let's do one last battle. We want to see Ghidorah lose at least once, right, Dragon fans?
Not
Sorry,
really,
Godzilla
but
fans.
okay,
It's
let's see.
Just, well, you know. They need to get a piece of cake, too. So, as one final battle, to make sure I'm not clickbaiting, we will have all the previously mentioned dragons.
Okay, now
fight
he's getting
Ghidorah
an extra
all
jump.
at
Maybe
once.
that's when it
Can
kind
Ghidorah
of...
beat all the previous dragons all at once?
Okay.
Well, let's find out.
I guess
But
this would make
before we
sense.
do, we are almost done with this video. So if you watched this far and you have enjoyed, make sure to subscribe. We're trying to hit
that
300K
subscribe
for
button,
G-Fest,
guys.
Which, if you don't know what that is, just watch these short right
G-Fest,
here after
bro.
this video.
I haven't been able to go to that,
one
man.
button right there helps
I'm a
a
whole
lot.
father.
Anyways, let's cover this
I
final
got the time.
world
I
ending
want to.
battle. In this battle,
It's
we
so
will
far
revive
away
all the
from me, though.
dragons, and they will listen to Toothless for orders. So how would a fight like this go? Well, here's how I see it playing out. Toothless will draw Ghidorah to a shoreline, and once there, the battle truly begins. Toothless, along with the Screaming Death and Red Death, will attack from the sky, using fire, sound, and plasma to cause significant damage to Ghidorah, faster than he can regenerate at a natural rate. Here and there, the Red Death will dive bomb Ghidorah into the water, leaving him to the mercy of the Purple Death. Once underneath, the Purple Death will inflict as much damage as possible, possibly concussing Ghidorah. Though Ghidorah will quickly kick the Purple Death away from him and swim and crawl onto the shoreline. Just then have his heads be covered in lava and acid by the Forever Wing. Ghidorah would blast it off himself, shooting lightning at all of his
maybe
attackers.
if he gets jumped by literally everyone, he could lose.
The goal here is to wear him down for many minutes on end.
But you
Ghidorah
gotta
is
think
torched,
about, like,
ripped, and
they're
deafened.
not gonna be teaming
He
up.
becomes
Red
disoriented,
Death,
and due to the
Purple
damage
Death.
done to his wings, it's almost impossible for him to take flight.
I don't
And
think
once
they
that
team
happens,
up.
The Red Death, Purple Death, and Forever Wing all use their sheer mass to hold Ghidorah down.
Maybe they
While
would,
the
though,
Screaming Death
like the
wraps his body
Avengers.
around Ghidorah's mouth, so he can't shoot a beam. And with this, Ghidorah is restrained. The two Bewilderbeasts then fire all the ice they can, the other dragons letting go at the last moment. The Bewilderbeasts have to shoot everything they've got. I'm talking collapsing from exhaustion amounts. But after enough time, they have fully buried Ghidorah in millions of tons of ice, covering the entire island. So, as a
they
team,
got him.
Can they kill
At
him?
the end, in
Likely
the end,
not.
they got him.
But they can defeat him.
Yeah, probably
I do
not
think
killing
the
him, but
dragons
they
together
can freeze him,
Ghidorah.
I guess.
But one-on-one, he beats all of them. So,
Yeah,
here's your
Ghidorah
answer.
cooks.
I want to remind you all, this is an equal stats Ghidorah.
Let me know
for
if
this
you got
video.
it right.
Real
I would have
Monster
said
versus
Ghidorah
would
cooks.
before the entire verse.
Exactly
Anyways,
that
thank you all
right there.
so much for watching.
Let me
And
know
stay
what you
tuned for
guys
more
thought,
How to Train
though.
Your Dragon content to come. You'll get to see Toothless enter the Hollow Earth. You'll see the Red Death on Skull Island, and even see Rathalos from Monster Hunter take on the How to Train Your Dragon.
Toothless into Skull Island
make
is
sure to subscribe if you
interesting.
enjoyed the video, but as always,
I like
keep
that.
collecting. Goji guy.
What do you think would happen in that scenario, though? Does Toothless... Here's my dragon.
Munching, hungry gecko.
That boy hungry and adorable. Yeah, shout out to his dragon. Shout out to my dragon, King Ghidorah. He's sweeping everybody. I'm calling it. I called it. It's actually not that hard to call. Thank you guys for watching with me. I will see you in tomorrow's video. I love ya. Goodbye.